Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Lioness Queen Experience. I am your host, Leo, and we are 5 days into 2023, and it has been very interesting, to say the least. Let's talk about it. I want to thank you for being here with me. I'm not going to take up too much of your time. Let me just go ahead and get into it before I actually jump into the topics that I chose to speak about on this particular show. I returned back to work this past Tuesday, and y'all, when I walked into the building, I felt a sense of sadness and anger mixed together because it felt like I had no time away from the place, even though I was off for a good number of days, okay? And I know that I'm not the only one who has experienced that, whether you're coming from a holiday vacation or just a regular vacation. It's like when you return back to work, you be like, damn, I'm back here. Because the time go by so quick. But I had to end up humbling myself at the same time, because with the economy that we're living in, I had to be thankful that I had a place to walk back into. Okay, so I quickly got over those initial emotions that I had, went on to go ahead and have a pretty good day. And now we are on to Thursday currently. And maybe I have one day to work. I don't know. If they do offer the weekend, I definitely will be up in there, okay? It is time to get the coin back up, okay? I also want to give a huge congratulations to my father. He actually retired on December the 29th of last year. He retired after 45 years at the Renaissance Center. I feel comfortable enough to go ahead and say it, because he's not there anymore. Even though if someone did try to be vengeful and call, they wouldn't have got away with anything anyway. Whoever answered the phone would have hung up on your ass any damn way, because my father has been that great of an employee. You know, his blood, sweat, and tears is literally within that building. And anybody who is from Detroit knows that the Renaissance is one of the big staples here, specifically in downtown Detroit. But yeah, he retired after 45 years. He had been saying for the past couple of years that he was going to retire, but we did not believe him, and he finally did it. So when I spoke to him, especially on Tuesday, because that would have been his first day back to work after the vacation, he said that he felt weird. You know, he was like, I got to now get used to not having to get up and go in the building. And he actually ended up going there yesterday. He claimed that he was dropping off some papers or whatever. I don't believe him. I think he just went down there because that done been his routine for so long. You know what I'm saying? But I completely understand. But at least he has the time now to just relax and rest. He done put in his time. It's time for him to really live his life and do the things that he want to do. And he said that the thing that he plans on, of course, doing the most is spending time with his grandchildren. So congratulations to you, Dad. Definitely will be doing something for him in the very near future in order to celebrate this, okay? Also, I want to give prayers to California. If you happen to be in California right now, I definitely am keeping all of you in my prayers, because California is expecting a bomb cyclone, to come through. And a bomb cyclone is, I believe, is when the weather develops like a low pressure and it brings on heavy rain, heavy winds. It can cause a lot of damage. And the actual governor of the state of California actually declared a state of emergency and said that it is life-threatening, and he is urging residents to get out of the area. Okay, I believe that some of them are already experiencing flooding. So definitely prayers out to everybody. The weather has been extremely weird. Very, very weird. Areas in the south are getting weather that they are not used to. We are experiencing weird weather as well. I cannot talk this morning, y'all. Forgive me. We are experiencing weird weather as well. That's just like yesterday. I believe we were like in the 50s, which is something that is very rare for Michigan in January. Usually we done had a couple of big snows at this point, but you know, that is what's going on. So yeah, definitely prayers. And then another story that came out of California was a husband who apparently tried to do a murder suicide, if that's what you would want to call it. He pretty much got in his Tesla with his wife, his two children. I don't know what the hell happened before they went plunging over the cliff, but he drove that motherfucker over the cliff. They are saying that it is not an accident, that the car did not malfunction. They are saying that he purposely drove his wife and his two children, which I believe they were young, over the cliff to basically take them out. Okay. But God had other plans because all four of them survived the accident, and they already have taken him into custody, and he is on his way to damn prison. Prayers to the wife and the children. I know that had to be very traumatic. Again, I don't know what the hell led up to it. I don't know whether they just got in the car and they driving along and he just decided to do the shit, or they had an argument, or they were going through something. It's just another testament to, again, you never really know people, even people that you think you're close to, your own spouse, your own parent. You never know what's in somebody's heart. And that is just very, very scary. So prayers to them. That's just messed up all the way around. Okay, so next up is Quavo from the Migos. He was finally spotted out at Puff Daddy's party after not being seen since the unfortunate slaying of his nephew Takeoff. He was shown in pictures at Puff Daddy's party, and people were happy to see him out. He didn't get a lot of backlash about it. A lot of people were actually happy to see him out and about again or whatever, because some people expect for when tragic things that happen, they expect for somebody to just be in a ball and not able to move. And at the end of the day, no matter what happens, no matter how tragic it is very important and very healthy to go on and try to live your life as much as possible. Just because you see somebody smiling or laughing, you don't know what it is that they are going through when they are off Instagram or away from the world. They can go and cry in a car. You just never know. And especially when it is a man, you already know it's very hard for men to express their feelings, let alone in front of the world, especially being a celebrity. But either way, Quavo put out a beautiful tribute song yesterday to his nephew Takeoff, and it is called Without You. And it is pretty much a video to where Quavo is sitting in his chair, he's smoking his little blunt or whatever, and you can just see the sadness all over his face. And so there's a track that he did over the video, and they have the lyrics of the song that he wrote going across the screen. It's in black and white, very somber, very, very sad. So again, just prayers to Quavo, and also prayers to Offset, because I know Offset is taking it very hard. There have been conflicting reports. Some people said that Takeoff and Offset were still in contact, still cool, that the issue was mainly between Offset and Quavo. And then there are some people who saying that they were not on speaking terms at the time. But either way, Offset has been expressing his hurt. Even his wife Cardi came out and said that, you know, she had been trying to do everything in her power to make him happy and tried to do something to curb his sadness of this very tragic incident. And, you know, I don't know exactly what happened between Offset and Quavo. I don't know whether it was just a music thing, because I know there were issues that Offset was having when it came to Quality Control, which I believe is the record label that they are with. I'm not sure whether that was exactly the divide or something more, but if that was just simply it, I don't like to say that people should try to make up, especially when you don't know the situation, but at the end of the day as well, the human part of me is like, I hope that Offset and Quavo can one day fix it, because at the end of the day, when it comes to the Migos, they are the only ones that are left. All they have is each other. I doubt very seriously if they can go on as a group, of course, because Takeoff was a very important part of the trio. I'm quite sure that they both will recover and do music on their own, which they both have. I think both of them are very talented rappers, even though to me Takeoff was the best. But I just hope that they are able to come to some type of middle ground, and maybe they have spoken, maybe they have embraced each other and is being a support to one another. But either way, prayers to Takeoff's family. And it's just another senseless killing, guys. We got to stop this shit. Also, I wanted to add, which I thought was very weird, is that the same day that Quavo went on ahead and released the tribute song to his nephew Takeoff, the accused killer, DJ Pat, was actually released on bond. Originally he had a $2 million bond. He got it reduced down to $1 million. And he got released yesterday. So I don't know exactly what's going on with that. Of course, people are speculating that the Prince family had something to do with posting his bail, because initially he was crying broke. And I know his attorney actually asked for money from the court in order to hire a private investigator, even though I did find out that that is standard practice when it comes to them preparing for a case. So I don't know exactly what is going to come of that. I also know that the other guy, which the world deemed as the yellow hoodie, he is still in custody, even though he was arrested last month on an unrelated gun charge. But the incident was mentioned within his paperwork. So I don't know exactly what's going on with him either. But yeah, the alleged killer actually got released yesterday. So I guess all we can do is stay tuned and see if Takeoff actually receives justice. So next I'm going to talk about the documentary that was done on HBO Max about the tarot reader slash shaman slash Jamaican psychic, Miss Cleo. It is called You Can Call Me Miss Cleo. And I feel like I wasted an hour and a half or however long it was of my life. I did not learn anything new. To me, the documentary was all over the place. As you all know, Miss Cleo was very popular back in the day. She had the commercials. I remember the commercials coming on and her little shows that she would do where people would call in and they would ask her about their love lives and stuff. And she would, tell them who they need to date, who they need to not date, just whatever. And so in the documentary, they pretty much, to me, they left out a lot of things. And even if you go and try to look up information on her, it is very hard to find exactly what was happening with her before she ended up passing, because she was with the Psychic Network. If you don't remember the whole scandal with them, they ended up eventually going out of business because they were accused of taking advantage of very vulnerable people who were calling in and wanting advice. And a lot of the people that they were talking to, first of all, a lot of them would want to call in to speak specifically to Miss Cleo. Of course, she was not available. And they were calling in to speak to a lot of these so-called fake fraudulent ass psychics who pretty much were just given a script to read. A lot of those people were just hired on the spot, and their jobs was pretty much to lie to whoever was on the phone and keep them on the phone as long as possible. And so a lot of customers started to complain, and they started to file complaints and grievances. And I believe the Psychic Network ended up coming out of millions of dollars they had to pay out for these bad business practices. But as far as the person who, to me, received the bulk of the backlash, because she was the face of it, was Miss Cleo. Okay, I believe that she received a lot of the backlash, and I think that some of it was kind of unfair. She was the only black person within the scenario, and when they did have little clips of her speaking about what happened after she got sued, she was basically saying that she was just an actor and that she did not get paid a lot of money. I believe she said for all the time that she was with them, she only got paid $1,700. They also spoke to people from where she originally created the Miss Cleo character, because I believe she was writing plays and stuff. And they said that Cleo did not have a Jamaican accent. I forgot her real name. I think her real name was Yusef, because she had like 5 goddamn aliases. But they were saying that she did not have a Jamaican accent, that she was not from Jamaica. She was actually from California. And what I got from the documentary was the different people who knew her early on versus the people who knew her during the time she was at the Psychic Network, after she pretty much faded from the limelight after all the controversy, the people that knew her then. She presented herself as a different person to each group that she was in. What I got from it overall was that it was somebody who just did not know who they were, and they were able to morph into whatever they needed to be. Other than that, I didn't get any real value from it. That's just like when I did go to try and do my own research, it said on the internet that she got married very young and she had 2 children. I do not believe in the documentary that they mention anything about her marriage. I do not believe that they mention anything about her children. They also had Raven-Symoné in there, which I don't understand. What was the point of her being in there at all? And I also didn't appreciate when Raven tried to throw shade at Janet Jackson, saying that Janet Jackson was 65 years old with a kid. She was trying to make it as though it was a compliment or something like that, but it was like, bitch, Janet Jackson is up there, but she ain't no fucking 65 years old. Don't try to play it with Janet, okay? I don't know what the fuck that was about. And then they had Deborah from Mad TV, and to me, she was just paid to be in a documentary to overact. She was just doing, it was a lot. I didn't understand why those 2 were in there. Watch the documentary for yourself. Y'all let me know what y'all think, but I personally did not like the documentary. I felt like it was all over the place. I feel like it was sloppily done. And if they were not able to really get concrete information, it just should not have been greenlit. That's my honest opinion. That's just like they kept mentioning in a documentary that she came from this traumatic ass childhood. Never ever went into detail about what made her childhood traumatic, you know. So you leave away not knowing whether or not she was really a con artist, or was she just someone, like I said once again, that never found out who they were and just went from group to group, tried different things, and if it didn't work out, she went on. I don't know. Just watch it for yourself, and y'all let me know what y'all think. But yeah, I hated it. Absolutely freaking hated the Miss Cleo documentary. Want to give a huge congratulations to the singer Summer Walker. She actually delivered twins. I believe it was New Year's that she delivered them, but either way, a lot of us did not know that she was pregnant with twins. It is from her ex-boyfriend Larry, I believe his name is. That was her supposed side nigga that she was with even when she was dealing with London on the track. But either way, they welcomed twins, and she had them at home, natural, like she did her first child, and Erykah Badu was her doula. So Erykah Badu has officially delivered 3 of Summer Walker's children, which I think is the coolest thing in the world. And I also just give it up to her for just having 3 children. I was speaking to somebody the other day, and I was telling them, I said, you know, sometimes I wonder how it would have been if I would have had multiple children, but I'm gonna keep it real. I'm glad with just 1, because I don't think that I would be able to do it. 1 is just a damn enough. So shout out to all the mothers out there that got multiple children, because dealing with different personalities and this person want to eat this and all this other shit, changing diapers again, I would not pay to go back and have to do that again, especially not at this damn age. So shout out and congratulations to Summer Walker. So the last story I'm going to talk about for this particular episode is Keith Murray. He is a rapper from back in the day, and he has been getting a lot of attention and going viral for him spilling a lot of tea. It's not only the tea that he's spilling, but it is the way that he is spilling it. And he did an interview recently on the YouTube channel called Art of Dialogue, which shout out to the channel holder of Art of Dialogue. I have been subscribed to him for years. He definitely does a lot of amazing interviews with people who have been in the industry. A lot of them have been connected to like Death Row, Tupac, Bad Boy. I'm talking about interviewing fellow rappers, they girlfriends, they side hoes, they wives, all types of stuff. So if you are into music, history, and the tea and everything like that, definitely go subscribe to that channel. I have been subscribed for a very, very long time. But either way, Keith Murray been on there showing his ass. He talked about Shauna. He talked about Foxy Brown, about how they gave him this magnificent head. Of course, he talked about Corinne Steffens, saying that, of course, she had the best head in the world. But it's not even a point of him telling these stories and the vulgar language that he uses. Is just how animated he is, to where looking at him and the way he's acting, which I know whoever was filming him had to be very on point, because he never sat down in his chair. He just kept getting up, and he had to demonstrate the sexual acts that was going on. He even asked the person who was interviewing him, did they want to see his penis? And the guy had to tell him, no man, chill the fuck out. I don't want to see your damn penis. But yeah, just very animated and just acting like he was on drugs or something. And I love when people come and give a tea, especially about stuff that happened back in the day, because as we know, all we had for media at the time was magazines and shit. We didn't have the internet like that when he was around. But at the same time, this trend of these men coming out and just telling all this tea like a bitch about the people that they fucked, it was funny. I'm not gonna lie, it was very entertaining. But at the same time, I'm like, nigga, you too motherfucking old to be sitting here speaking the way that you are speaking. Even if you were going to tell the stories about your sexual conquest with these female rappers, I feel like you could have done it in a better way than the way that he did. It was just very fucking childish. It's like, nigga, you too damn old for this shit. But yes, please go and check out Keith Murray. It was very, very entertaining. But yeah, these niggas need to quit running their mouth so goddamn much about certain shit. And another thing I want to bring up, because he also had one of Tupac's ex-girlfriends, many ex-girlfriends on there. And she also, amongst a lot of people that were around Pac or at Death Row at the time, keep bringing up this story about Faith sleeping with Tupac. And I believe I spoke about this before on my Leo Linus Queen channel, but I just want to say this. Nobody cares at this point if Faith slept with Tupac or not. Who gives a damn? It's been years. And Faith is not going to ever admit to it. She claims she did not. I'm going to keep it real. I believe she did. But that's just something that she going to take to her grave. It is what it is. Leave that shit alone. We tired of hearing about that, to be real. That's, if I can say, the only critique I have about that channel is the people that keep coming on here and talking about whether or not Faith and Tupac slept together. We do not care at this point. That story is so run down. And I get at the time she was married and there was a whole bunch of shit going on. But at the end of the day, Biggie was doing his shit too. As far as I'm concerned, the female rappers, singers, whoever was in the industry at the time, they were all young. I'm quite sure they all fucked and sucked on each other and did all types of shit. It is nothing new under the sun. Please bury the faith in Tupac stuff because we really don't give a damn. I hope that you enjoyed this episode of the Lioness Queen Experience and look forward to listening for more. I definitely will be back with many more topics. And I want you to all have a beautiful, beautiful, blessed day.